Meeting, Board of Commissioners. Today is Tuesday, December the 9th, 2025. The time is 6 o'clock p.m. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Commissioner Ackrey?
Here.
Commissioner Downing?
Here.
Commissioner Smith?
Here.
Commissioner Tubby?
Here.
Mayor Washington?
Here.
We have our quorum and are duly qualified to conduct business.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Let the record please reflect that the Vice Mayor is joining us virtually. This time, I believe there's no presentations. Ask the City Manager if she would like to share her report with us.
Two updates for you this evening. One is about the shelter at Prisoners Lake in Devu Park that is being surveyed currently, and construction should begin on that later this week. And then we're hoping to get that project done by April of next year. The second update, which most of you have probably heard by now, we had a groundbreaking at CCR today for Block A, which is with the Funky Real Estate Group. It's for 10 single-family homes and 2 commercial buildings on that lot. That's all I had, Mayor.
Thank you, Madam. Any questions for the City Manager? Thank you. Okay, little housekeeping here. Items for consideration. Staff has asked us to remove item number 3. So number 3 will be removed. And also we'd like to add to the agenda item 1B. It'll be 1B, and it's concerning FEMA, and legal will report to that. So without any objections or questions, we'll move to the next item, and that's a presentation request. Ms. Reddy?
This is just an introduction to the new Executive Director at Planning and Development Services. I suggest you ask some really tough questions for my predecessor there, but he'd like to introduce himself and just provide some quick data.
Thank you. Okay. Any questions on that? Without objection, we'll put that on the agenda, number 1 presentations for the next meeting. Okay, under the solicitor now report on item 1B.
Mayor and Commissioners, good evening. For your consideration, I have a request for a resolution, or for the mayor, a request for authorization for the mayor to issue a resolution basically accepting the recent FEMA award to the city due to the emergency declaration that was made for the flooding. On November 18th, this commission authorized the city to submit an application for that funding to FEMA. We've talked with FEMA, and they're requiring a very specific resolution on their own letterhead. So it's purely procedural, but we just want to make sure that we, of course, fully comply with their requirements so that we can get paid.
Any questions for the solicitor? Seeing none, without objections, consent.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Director Wetzel.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I have 2 items for you this evening. The first of which is a request for an order authorizing the mayor to execute a contract amendment with Branstetter Carroll, Inc. for design updates to the new City Hall facility. We've been working with Branstetter on some design updates to accommodate changes needed for our transition in form of government and to allow for some flexibility in anticipated changes and growth in some areas.
Any questions for the director? Seeing none, without objection, consent. Next item, item 4.
The next item is a request for an order authorizing the mayor to execute an agreement with Kentucky Transportation Cabinet to grant a release of an existing city easement across 2 parcels of KYTC-owned land. This is required for the Brent Spence Bridge Corridor project construction. So the two parcels that are in consideration with this order are what you see there highlighted in yellow, parcel 403S1 and 404S1. These are KYTC-owned properties that the city currently has easement on to access the earthen levee there to the north for maintenance. These parcels are going to be altered as part of the bridge construction project, including realignment of that intersection with 3rd and Crescent. And so we need to maintain our access for maintenance of the levee. And so KYTC has agreed to allow us temporary easement elsewhere as needed for maintenance. And then when construction of the bridge project is complete, then we'll know what the configuration is of the area and see what makes the most sense for a permanent easement for the city to access the levee system.
Okay, any question for Director Wetzel? Commissioner Downing?
Is there any concern that, like, the way that's been described, it's a little bit loose in terms of like, okay, we're going to find we're going to find access where we need to when it's restricted, and then we're going to figure out after the bridge has been constructed or after we've got things finalized as to how we're going to have that access. Is there any concern by staff with our working relationship that we're going to encounter any challenges in that due to that?
No, we don't anticipate that. It is considered in documentation with KYTC back and forth. We have this grant of release of our interest in the property, but there's also a memorandum of understanding regarding the situation and what the expectations are.
All right, just wanted to validate.
Yeah.
Thank you. Can you just take that down for a second so I can see Commissioner Smith?
Sure.
Thank you. Hey, Madam Vice Mayor, do you have any questions on that? Okay, no questions. Any other board members have any questions? Okay. Any objections to consent? Without objection, consent.
Thank you.
Thank you. Economic Development Department, Patrick Duffy.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I am here to present the second round of fiscal year 2026 for our Small Business Incentive Program. So just a quick overview. After the first projects that we had from the first round, we're going to have 3 projects in the second round. Seeing as though we start out with $150,000, we now will have a remainder of $90,400 if these projects are approved. To go over the recommended projects. First, we have the facade grants. We have one project which is requesting $10,000. This is 510 Keene Street. This $20,084 project will include pressure washing, tuck pointing, and painting of the entire building. They also be rebuilding the storefront to make it look a little more appealing. And the building is actually home to around-the-clock daycare in Main Strasse. The owner of the building, Jim Mackey, is here tonight. He's here on behalf of his company, Diversity One LLC. This is a one-to-one leverage of city funds to private funds, and the staff is recommending a $10,000 facade grant to support Diversity One LLC.
How many square feet is the building?
Over 6,000 square feet.
Okay. Any questions? Mayor, or Vice Mayor, I can't see you, so if you have any questions, just shout out. You good? All right. All right. Without objection, consent.
Thank you. So moving on now to the rent subsidy projects. So we actually have an existing business that's expanding here in Covington. It's Sanctify Fitness. We're joined by Lee and Juliana Ramsey. They're here tonight. So just a quick overview. They are expanding their footprint. The guidelines say 150%. They're going from 700 square feet to 2,000 square feet at 509 Madison. Let's see, they have provided us a business plan, 3 years of projections, and 2 years, almost 2 years of financials. They've been at 2001 Scott Street for the last 2 years. They do plan on hiring one new full-time employee with a preference for hiring Covington residents, if at all possible. The new lease is a 5-year lease, $3,050 a month. And staff recommends $6,000 rent subsidy to benefit Sanctify Fitness LLC.
Any questions? Without objection, thank you, ma'am. Without objection, consent.
And finally, we do have one historic electric sign grant. One project requesting $6,800. So Landwehr Flats LLC, we actually have Chelsea O'Connell here tonight, who's with Orleans Development. As you may remember, we did a restoration of 824 to 826 Madison Avenue into a mixed-use space. The Landwehr sign, you can see here in this picture, that's 1969. That is when that picture is taken. Not sure exactly when the sign was installed prior to that. But the plan is to completely refinish and restore this sign, the electrical connection, and I believe it's going to say Landwehr Flats, is that correct?
We're actually going to keep the
And, okay, they're going to keep it to what that says, just like that, and then, of course, it'll be lighting up that portion of Madison Avenue like the other signs in that area. They're actually using artisan craftsman Mike Cobb, and they will be restoring that with an 80 to 20% match, $6,800 to $1,700, which is the minimum per guidelines. So staff recommends $6,800 to benefit Landwehr Flats LLC.
Any questions? I have a question. What happened to the toys?
They did an auction when you purchased the building.
So for people at home, they did an auction when they purchased the building. So for longtime residents of the city, Landwehr's, it didn't only have hardware, but they had a sizable toy collection. Probably the largest in the city besides Johnny's. I'm going to go on record and believe on that side. So many toys. So they did an auction. Okay. Tom Landwehr. Oh, okay. Any other questions on that? Okay. Without objection, consent. Okay. So to the people that as you saw, the Board of Commissioners, we went through and we asked Patrick some questions and what's going to happen from here. All of the items went to the consent agenda. So next week, they're going to be voted on en masse. And usually that means, it's been approved. Technically, it'll go back before us next week. Any commissioner can pull it off of consent and put it on regular and have the item up for debate. That very seldom happens. So this item is pretty much approved, but it still has to go through its final process. As the mayor, I just wanted to tell you to thank you for investing in Covington. Thank you for doing the things that you're doing to improve the property, and our community. This is our small portion of also seeing our property around being improved, because it truly does lift everyone up. So thank you very much. And if you want to sneak out now, you can, or you're more than welcome to stay. Okay. All right. Next order of business, Human Resources Director Lewis.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I have two items for your consideration this evening. The first being an order accepting the resignation of John Stribley, a police officer in our police department, and this would be effective November 28th.
Any questions? Without objection, consent.
Next is an order accepting the resignation of Marcus Hill, laborer 2 in the Public Works Department, and this would be effective November 27th.
Any questions? Without objection, consent.
Thank you very much.
Staff reporting, Jeremy Wallace. Neighborhood
evening.
Services.
So continuing our efforts to increase affordable housing opportunities, we have an order for your consideration tonight to execute a disposition and development agreement with Housing Opportunities of Northern Kentucky, who responded to a recent RFP that we did for the sale of the vacant lot at 1323 Russell Street. So they put in a bid and a request to redevelop that land, which in essence is going to build a new home for their lease purchase program. Most likely will be coming back because they'll probably be using home funds as well. So it'll be an affordable home ownership opportunity. And it's also right next door to 1321 Russell, which is a single family home that they're currently rehabbing. So we'll have two houses right next to each other on formerly unused space, which is great.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Wallace? Once again, this is a win for our city. We're taking a vacant piece of land and we're going to put a house on it, and it's going to be going for people in need. So, thank you. So, without objection, consent. Thank you. Thank you. Police Department, Chief Weeholter.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I have one request this evening, and that is for a renewal of the annual retiree hire contract for Officer Matthew Hugenberg in accordance with KRS 95.022. He would continue as a grade 6 patrolman, and with the renewal of his contract, the police department will be staffed at 110 of 114 authorized.
Any questions for the chief? Without objection, consent. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
Public Works Director Mattioli.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Public Works has one request this evening, an order approving contract with Henry Incorporated for the 26-27 annual concrete maintenance agreement contract for $655,800.
Any questions for the director? Commissioner Downing.
How many companies do we have that submitted a bid for this?
3 total.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the director? Seeing none, without objection, consent. Thank you, Mr. Mattioli. Also, if you could see in your packet, I'm recommending Sarah Flem be appointed to the Kenton County Planning Commission. And you have before you her qualifications in your packet. So without objections, consent. We'll move to the next items of business, commissioner discussion items. Does any commissioner wish to bring an item to the floor? Seeing none, commissioner comments.
I got one.
Yes, ma'am.
Just really quick, I'm obviously remote, and I always have to give a shout out to Esau. He did an excellent job connecting me, Sean Lee as well. Those are the two folks I had to shout out because it's not easy to make this happen. Thank you guys so much. I regret that I had to get out, but I did. And then the last thing I'll say is thank you so much to the businesses that are investing in the community and coming here. And I'm not going to steal any thunder, but just know that we're continuing to invest and advocate for the business community. And I think that our mayor might have some further good things to share in that same thing. So I'll just leave it there and just say thank you all very much.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Any other comments by commissioners? My comments are, it's been a great week for our city. I've been traveling back and forth with our team, going to Frankfurt, meeting with the transportation secretary, explaining to him about the anxiety in our community with the bridge disruptions and with the closure of the 4th Street Bridge. And we need to get the message out, and we'll continue to get the message out, that Covington is open for business. We are open for business. I was able to meet with the governor last week, and we did a news conference where the Transportation Cabinet is giving us $750,000 of taxpayers' money. And our goal is simple, is to advertise and let everyone know that we're open. Covington's easy to get to. This is how you do it. There are going to be some disruptions, but we're going to make this as easy as possible. You know, with no pain, there's no gain, and we understand that when it comes to the bridges. As the population increases, as more things are happening in our city, obviously the infrastructure has to be in place to do that. And we are a town known for our small businesses and for our culinary, and we know they're anxious, and this is going to be something that we can help, along with other things. The program's called Bridge the Gap, and my hat goes off to Charmalee and Sebastian Torres and Dan Waller, who have been working on this, and also the Vice Mayor, and the rest of the team. You're sitting here on the dais as we are trying to continue to advocate for our city. It would not be an easy job of being mayor to be able to go down to Frankfurt if I didn't have the support of all of our commissioners. So this was a very fruitful visit, and you know, so it worked out real well, and so thank you to the team.
I have to just, one more thing, Mayor, I just want to thank you. I've seen your advocacy, and I don't think everyone sees the background. I just want to thank you so much for your advocacy. This is huge. I don't even know that anyone else, well, I think everyone knows how huge it is, but I'm just so excited. I just want to say thank you. It's massive, so thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Yeah, it truly is a pleasure advocating for our community. It is. It's actually kind of fun. Stressful, but fun. Okay, moving on to the next order of business, we're going to go into executive session. Can I have a motion for the commission to go into executive session pursuant to KRS 61.810, Section 1, subsection C, for discussion of proposed or pending litigation involving a public agency? May I have a motion?
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Downing, second by Commissioner Ackrey. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We do not foresee any business after executive session. Have a good night.